I came to this lake today not because it's the biggest freshwater reservoir in the United States, but because it didn't always look like this. In fact, it looked like something entirely different. And I think that's where we often get stuck. We see something beautiful, something incredible, and we think it's always been this way. But what we don't see is the mess behind it all.
I know you see what I can't see in all those.
The struggle, the time, the effort, the fear, the doubts, but the hardest part isn't the work itself. It's not letting the opinions of others hold you back while you're still trying to figure it all out. We're heading out to explore the very first national recreational area that strangely played a huge role in helping me make a shift in my mindset that I desperately needed.
Let's be real, when you think of Las Vegas, your mind probably jumps right to the bright neon lights and the slot machines. But I'm talking about Lake Mead sitting just outside Las Vegas and is straddling the border of both Nevada and Arizona. This isn't just any lake. This is an incredible freshwater ecosystem that's not just important for the wildlife, but also for millions of people that rely on it. We can thank the Wilderness Act of 1964 for protecting this place. This was a huge deal because it was the first time the government officially set aside certain areas of federal land as protected public wilderness. And Lake Mead was the very first to get this title. A place meant for everyone to explore, enjoy, and most importantly, protect. Lake Mead is the perfect escape from the city, and honestly, when you're out here surrounded by all these desert cliffs, it's kind of hard to believe that you're just a short drive away from the strip. It's huge. The lake itself stretches 550 miles, and the surrounding national recreational area, it's 1.5 million acres of protected land. So big that it actually crosses over 2 states, Nevada and Arizona. But Lake Mead isn't natural, and honestly, it doesn't really fit in with the whole desert vibe, so it's not a huge surprise. This giant body of water is completely man-made, created back in 1936. The reason? Las Vegas was growing fast and the area needed a reliable water source to keep up, so they built a massive dam to store water for the city and beyond. So think about this lake. Before it was a giant freshwater reservoir that supplied water to millions of people, it was just a crazy idea. I mean, imagine being the person who first said, we're going to build a giant wall, redirect this river, flood an entire valley, and change the landscape forever. Everyone else probably thought, you've got to be out of your mind. People talking, judging, questioning whether it would ever work. And yet, despite all that noise, despite all the people who thought it was crazy, someone trusted their vision enough to push forward. They didn't care what anyone thought. They just did it. And that's how the Hoover Dam came into play. To make Lake Mead happen, they had to reroute the Colorado River. Once the dam was in place, it started relocating all that river water, creating this massive lake we see today. But it wasn't just for Vegas. The water supply now stretches all the way to California, Arizona, and even parts of Mexico. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. A lake out in the middle of the desert supplying water to over 25 million people. That's a ton of people depending on a lake that technically shouldn't even be here. Once I started thinking about it, I realized that I do this all the time. When I start something, whether it's a new project, a new idea, or even a new phase in life, I get so consumed with what other people might think. I worry that they'll judge me before they see the result. I let their judgment cloud my confidence, and the worst part is I let it stop me from starting things or going all in on something. I let the fear dictate my pace, or worse, my decision to even start at all. But I think I'm finally starting to see the truth. Most people have enough going on in their own life to even care what we're doing in ours. And it's just our own self-doubt making it seem like we're not doing enough, or the fear of what we might look like if we fail. If you listen to that noise, you'll never get anywhere. People don't see your vision the way you do. They don't see the picture you're trying to paint. They only see the mess. And that mess, it's part of the process. Now for the not so fun part, because this desert oasis might not have the brightest future. The state of Lake Mead today, well, it's pretty rough. Back in 2010, the lake capacity of water had already gone down to only 39%, and it just kept getting worse from there. Year after year, it kept dropping until recently in the summer of 2022, it actually reached its lowest levels ever recorded. But it's not just Lake Mead feeling the impact. The whole situation is a major concern for water supplies across the region. Other places are struggling too, like Lake Powell, the second biggest reservoir in the US, has also been hitting record lows in recent years. And don't forget about Salt Lake in Utah, which reached its lowest level in summer of 2022, just like Lake Mead. These aren't isolated issues. They're all part of a much bigger problem affecting lakes, rivers, and water supplies around the country. So why is this happening? Well, rising global temperatures and climate change are playing a huge part in it, which is why raising awareness is so important, because the future of these lakes is really uncertain. And that's why the more people that know, the more we can work together to protect these amazing places. If you're always waiting for the world to approve your steps, you'll never take any. You'll stay stuck in the worry of what others might think. You'll be paralyzed by the fear of judgment, and you're never gonna make progress. Trust me, I know from experience. But here's the truth, none of it matters. Because like this lake, one day when all the hard work is done, when all the digging is finished and the water flows in, when everything has finally taken shape, they'll look at your creation, your lake, and they won't see the effort it took to get there. They won't see the sweat, the doubts, the messiness, or the moments when you almost gave up. They'll just see the beauty. They'll see something that looks like it was meant to be there all along, like it was always part of the landscape. The key is to stop caring what others think while you're still working on your dream. Don't let their doubts stop you from building it, because it's just holding you back. Because when it's all finished, when the river's redirected, when the water fills the valley, when your vision finally becomes a reality, they'll see what you saw all along. So keep going, keep building, and keep pushing forward.
Even when it feels like nobody's watching and you're doing this by yourself. I mean, at the time I'm recording this, nobody's really watching my videos, maybe a couple here and there, but I'm still giving it everything I got, because maybe one day somebody will see the beauty in the lake that you built, or maybe they won't, but at least you gave it everything you got and you didn't get stuck worrying about what other people thought, and that's something you can be proud of.
But most importantly, trust the process. Trust in yourself.